Thanks. I just want to real quickly say thank you to Ning and all the panelists, and in fact all the panelists that we've had over the last 3 days. It's just been fantastic, and we're just going to wrap everything up. It's been 3 incredible days, and Ellis is going to finish up with a few closing comments. So I'll hand over to you. Thanks, Ellis.
Right. Thanks, Harvey. Yeah, as Harvey said, my name is Ellis Hughes. Quickly want to state, anything that I say here is my own opinion. It does not necessarily represent that of my employer. That being said, I've been attending our Pharma since 2019, and it's been really exciting for me to see the journey of the community, to see the journey of the conference, to see how the industry has just been changing. And to me, it's really exciting. I remember in 2019, there were a lot of shiny apps, a lot of discussions about can we use R? We think we can use R, but there's all these barriers to overcome. And then over the years, we've been slowly addressing the various issues that people have come up with. I think we have really good references at this point, some of it coming from this conference, of ways that we can start using R in production, in actual trials. And so to me, that's really exciting to be seeing, and looking forward to next year to hear what people have done. We had Novo present earlier on Tuesday on their approach, and then in their panel, and then just hearing the various talks over the last few days of building out our computing environments, and how do we address multilingual worlds? How do we address data storage? How do we address all these different issues? So for me, I think we're just in the beginning of the hockey stick. It's going to just go up from here, and R is just going to be, why aren't you using R? Not, can you use R? So I wanted to talk about the numbers of this conference. This is, I believe, the 6th time that R in Pharma has been held, the 4th time it's been virtual. This conference had 33 talks. So all these volunteers came together to give these wonderful talks. We had 3 panels that I learned a lot from. I really enjoyed listening to all of them as much as I could, running the back end. We have 17 different workshops that were offered last week, and I believe we might have some continuing on to Friday. We have 11 on-demand talks. So these are talks that were premiered on YouTube right after the conference that were put together by various speakers. You should definitely go check those out if you haven't yet. And then we have 14 expo booths, which were people that were pre-recorded videos to then post in those booths to have people, chat and discuss. So before you leave the conference today, go check out those expo booths and leave some comments on there. People did put some effort into that. And then finally, we had over 2,000 registrants for this conference. So compared to what it was just a handful of years ago, there was 150 people that were invite only, to now being over 2,000 people for the last several years has been really exciting to see. But the conference isn't just this. There's a lot of people that go to make one of these wonderful conferences happen, and they don't always get to go in front of the stage and say, "Hi, yes, I did all this work." So I always like to, if I'm doing closing remarks, call them out as people that there's a lot of effort that's put in over the year to make this conference happen. The workshops, the actual speaking portions. Harvey and Eric and I ran the backstage, interacting with all the speakers. Eric Sims put a ton of effort into making those expos happen. Again, definitely check those out. Phil and Maya were running the front stage, interacting with all of y'all, putting up the polls. We had the hosts were, of course, fantastic, introducing everybody. Eric and Jenna putting together that entertainment that you got to enjoy during those breaks. And then a bunch of other people, James, Michael, Paul, Joanna, and Satish, helping run our Pharma, the rest of the year, running the nonprofit aspect of that. And then because there's so many of them, I'm going to clump them together. There's roughly 60 people on the programming committee that go and review all the abstracts that get sent in. They vote on which talks we'd like to be accepting, volunteering people. So throughout the year, there's just a lot of effort that goes into running this conference. And so I wanted to put a big thank you out to them for all the work that they've done over the last year to bring our Pharma 2023 to fruition. So, but it doesn't have to end here. So of course, I believe Hopin will be open for a little bit longer. So you can continue to interact with folks there and network there. But you can continue the conversation on the R-Pharma Slack. There's a bit.ly URL listed there to attend there. I believe there's also a link on the R and Pharma website. On top of that, if you want to just be generally connected to your R community, that your fellow peers that maybe don't work in the pharma industry, find your local R ladies and use R groups. They're often happening. They're doing events periodically, depending on how often the organizers can get it together. Or you can volunteer with those R ladies and use R groups to bring some of your knowledge and share it with the rest of your R community. Then there's local conferences. R and Pharma is a wonderful conference, but it's not the only conference. I run another conference as well, the Cascadia R Conference, which we'll be doing next year for those that live in the Cascadia region. So that's like the Pacific Northwest area of the States. And then find your communities and your online resources. There's so much out there from the R community, from the other open source communities that you can go and find great content and continue to grow and learn. You don't just have to come to conferences to do workshops. You can go and find blog posts. You can find YouTube videos. I run a screencast called TidyX, where I explain how R code works. There's a lot of different ways that you can continue your education and growth. You don't have to wait for conferences to continue that. But with that all said, that's all, folks. Thank you for joining us for R and Pharma 2023.